our coach's house. We're gonna do a little game planning session with the rest of the team. But I get a chance to put my coaches on the vlog. I think some of y'all just hear me throwing these names out there like they exist, and they don't, you haven't seen them yet, so, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I know we were supposed to get them on the Christmas Day vlog because we were down at the beach doing an ocean swim, but I deleted the footage accidentally when I was editing. So they have yet to appear on the vlog. Today I'm gonna change that. So I do have a long ride today that I'll do when I get home. But for now, we're gonna just go down and hang out with them for like a little bit, like maybe 2 hours, and then talk some game planning session. Maybe get to get their perspective on where we are as far as my training goes. At this point in time during training, an Ironman prep, knowing that we're almost halfway. We are almost halfway to the goal, and yeah. So let me finish driving there so I don't have to get a ticket, because I know we're about to enter the town where cops are awesome at giving out tickets. So I'm gonna head out and cool. So, in tradition with me being one of the shittiest vloggers ever, that last clip you just saw of all of us at doing our goal settings with Coach Dom and Helen, that was the only clip I managed to grab of us being there. I had to sit down with Coach Dom going over like the training peaks and what they're looking for when I do a workout, and how they're analyzing whether it was a good workout or a bad workout, and none of that recorded because apparently I still suck as a vlogger. But that's okay. I am home now. I'm about to grab some lunch, and then I have to do a 3.5 hour bike ride. So if you look over here in the kitchen, I've got a bag of buttered and salted potatoes. That is half of my nutrition for this ride. The other half is going to be honey stinger waffles, and I'm about to fill up my bottles of my base hydro solution. I'm gonna do an episode in the near future on all the supplements, I promise. Comment below if you want me to do it later, now or closer to race day. But I'm about to knock out these 3.5 hours, zone 2, and then I have a 30-minute recovery run, and then my week is wrapped up. So that's what I'm about to do. Let me eat lunch. While this is digesting, I'm gonna get everything ready for today's ride, and then we're gonna head to the garage. And I think today is, since my wife's not home, it's a Star Wars day. So we have episode 3 of the 9 movie trilogy. So it is, I don't even know what the hell it's called. Revenge of the Sith? Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, we're getting ready to hit the trainer for today's ride. It's a 3.5 hour zone 2 ride where we have to work on bike nutrition in the meantime, okay? I wanted to show you what I'm using for the bike. I figured let's just do it now instead of waiting for another episode. So, I have, I don't know if you can see this, 3 full bottles and a half a bottle of base hydro. So it's my hydration solution for the bike, and I'm debating on using it for the run, especially after yesterday. Now, it's supposed to be 1 scoop in 12 ounces of water per hour of exercise. I'm a heavy sweater, I'm taking that into account, so I'm doing 2 scoops, 24 ounces, so 1 whole bottle per hour, and then a half a bottle, with 1 scoop. So I'm using 2 scoops per hour, not 1. If I get extra sodium, if I have to pee a little bit more, so be it. Guess what? On the it's gonna be hot in St. George. I want to make sure that my body can handle the amount of sodium, the amount of electrolytes, the amount of carbs that I'm gonna be putting in. So, with 1 scoop of these of hydro, you get 80 calories, 270 milligrams of sodium, 21 grams of carbs, 140 milligrams potassium, 67 magnesium, and 2 milligrams of calcium. Okay, now I'm getting double that every hour now. So 160 calories per hour from here, 540 milligrams of sodium per hour, 42 grams of carbs per hour, 282 milligrams of potassium, 134 milligrams of magnesium, and 4 milligrams of calcium. That's just from the liquid. Now, in addition to the liquid, I also have actual solid food that I'm eating in 40-minute increments. Okay, so every 40 minutes I got to eat something, and my coach wants me to bounce between slower burning carbs and quick burning carbs, or fast burning carbs. Okay, so I have in this bag, there's 6 potatoes, something like that. 4, 8, I don't know. They're broken up into 4 pieces each for every 40 minutes. So each eating interval with the potatoes is 2 potatoes, and they're coated with base salts, like I put on my oatmeal, and butter. Okay, so I'm getting carbs, I'm getting soda, I'm getting more electrolytes, and I'm getting a little bit of fats from the butter. All right, so I'm gonna go alternate between the potatoes and these honey stinger waffles. Now these honey stingers are really, really good. They're essentially waffles, really, really thin waffles with honey in the middle, and these are just regular honey. I also have salted caramel as well. The honey stingers are 150 calories, 7 grams of fat, 19 grams of carbs. So you figure every hour I'm having basically one of these, right? So you have the 160 calories and 40 grams of carbs from base, and then 150 calories and another, 19 calories or carbs from this. So that's about 60 something grams of carbs and 300 something calories per hour. So that's a pretty solid. Obviously, if I need to increase that, I will. But I'll talk to my coach about that because he's really, really, really good on race day nutrition. But then there's the potatoes, which is going to be calories, but with the butter and the salt, so everything's going to be good. But the whole point is to keep my stomach with actual food and not just sugars, so that in the heat I can function and I'm not going to regret it later in the race. So that's basically what I'm using on the bike. I don't know if I'll need any extra salts. I have extra salts. Worst case scenario, I'm going to need extra carbs, but that's for another discussion later on down the road. For now, I got to get ready to ride.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're riding on the bike because I'm not riding on anything else. It's a Zone 2 ride. We just got started a few minutes ago. I've got Star Wars on the phone. I've got football game on the TV, and I'm ready to roll. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is, I know someone's going to ask the question, you can only carry so much water and food on your bike. If your bike is looking, because if you remember a few weeks ago we talked about my goals, if my bike ride is going to take 6 hours and I only have enough bottle storage for 3 hours on the bike, where do I get my other stuff? How do I make sure that I'm using the same hydration over and over again for a longer period of time? Well, during an Ironman, they have what they call a special needs station. Basically what you can do is halfway through the bike and halfway through the run, you can put stuff in a bag, and at that point at the special needs station, you can take whatever you want out of that bag. So if I'm looking at a 6-hour bike ride, I can take 3 bottles of my hydration solution, essentially freeze it overnight, and then in the morning, put it in my special needs bag, and then I drop it off at the station, and then when I get to the 56 mile marker during the bike race, I can stop, get my bag, swap out my bottles, take on any extra food that I might need, any extra nutrition that I haven't been able to carry. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna need more potatoes, I'm sure I'm gonna need more honey stingers, or whatever other nutrition I'm using, and I can just pick it up there. And then I can be good for the second half of the bike. And the same thing goes for the run. At that 13 mile mark, I can go get my bag if I want to change my socks, if I want to put, take some aspirin, some Tylenol, get some extra fuel, extra food, extra hydration. whatever I want, I can do it. I mean, obviously, I'm not doing a full change at the halfway point of the marathon, but essentially, I could swap out whatever. So while I'm training, I have as much as I can carry on the bike with me right now. You'll see I've got one bottle here, 2 bottles under there, and then my extra bottle's right there. So the extra bottle on my food is gonna be sitting right there because I don't have my storage boxes or storage containers on the bike yet. And then, you know, as I get longer in my distances, I'm just gonna pile more and more stuff on that stool to where I can just easily reach and grab it, or I can leave it out and have my wife bring it to me, whatever. But let me talk about that real quick. I've got 3 bottles on me. It's basically gonna be the capacity that I'm expecting to carry with me. So I'm gonna need to put 3 extra bottles in my special needs bag, most likely. So, all right, let me get this ride. Let me watch Star Wars Episode 3, and I'll check back in later. All right, so we're about an hour, 45 minutes in. We're halfway. And I just wanted to do a quick check-in. Still going. According to the computer I've already ridden 32.7 miles in an hour 45. I don't know what that equates to time-wise, but I don't care. So far, and if you're a triathlete and you're on the trainer, depending on the trainer you're on, if you're on a fluid trainer or a kinetic trainer, when you stop pedaling, your wheels will still go. All right, you control that. The worst part about being on a trainer though is that when you can't stop pedaling and coasting on the downhills. If you stop pedaling, even on a downhill segment of the course or the virtual course, your guy stops momentum and you got to pick that back up. Whereas in the real world, you hit a downhill, you're gonna coast and let that speed take you downhill. The other hard part of this ride for me, it's only like 50 something degrees in the garage, and I'm not sweating as much as I would be outside on a course. One of the hardest parts for me is forcing myself to drink all the fluid I need to drink. I'm just not thirsty. So I know I have to do it because I'm going to have to do it on race day, and I'm trying to train myself for race day. But when you're not sweating like you would on the race, and you're not as thirsty as you would be during the race, it's tough to force down 24, 48, 72 ounces of liquid when you're not getting rid of that. So that's the hardest part for me. Anyway, I'm gonna finish up this ride. We'll check in when it's over. All right, so 3.5 hours is done. That was tough. It's 7:02 p.m. right now. I finished all but like 4 ounces of my drink, all my food, watched Star Wars, watching some football. All right, now I need to change so I can go get some food, refuel, and then within the hour I'll go do my 30-minute recovery ride. And then once I change and get back from the recovery run, it's only 30 minutes, super slow, like not even zone 2, like the low end of zone 2, like into zone 1. Just 30 minutes to kind of flush the lactic acid out. I want to talk about one last thing that I've been dealing with that kind of made this ride start to suck a little bit, and then I'll be done. But let me go and do what I got to do, and I'll talk to you about, I'll sum up the workout, the run, and we'll talk about that last issue when I'm back. All right, let's wrap this video up. So first, let's go over the workouts today. Bike ride, it was a 3.5 hour ride. I did exactly 3:30 and 50 seconds. My power was supposed to be, I think it was 165 was the average wattage, but speed would have equated to about 18.5 miles an hour. I burned about 2,100 calories on this ride, riding a total of almost 65 miles. So that's not bad. If this were a race, that would actually be a pretty solid time, 18.5 miles an hour. Now again, it was mostly flat on that course. There wasn't a lot of climbing, so the hills didn't exist. And as we get closer to race day, I'm gonna have to add hills back into that. So that's that. My heart rate for that one was insane. I think my average heart rate was like 118. So my max heart rate was only 144 on the bike, which means I didn't really push myself a whole lot. Like, again, no hills or not a lot of climbing. Finished that off with a 30-minute recovery run. So it was a lot slower than zone 2. I did 2.5 miles in 30 minutes at an 11:52 per mile pace. Just kind of finishing off the week, breaking out that lactic acid, just pushing it and flushing it through the system, and so on. So that actually ends my week. And if I go into Training Peaks, and I'll have to comment about it and see what's what. But if you look at my calendar, aside from that one red that's the pool workout. Oh shit, that was the pool workout I didn't do from Saturday. This week was basically green. So one red blemish on my week. Not a bad week. However, let's talk about that one thing I wanted to talk about today. So it's something I've been dealing with for probably a little over a year now. I just never really got it looked at. And I'm not using this as an excuse, but today's ride would have been easier, and I really have to figure this out because trying to sit in aero position hurts. So I've been dealing with the shoulder injury, and it's not really like a structural injury. I think it's more of a muscular or a tendon or something like that, but it's right here. So you'll notice in the gym I go lighter on overhead presses because I can feel it right in here radiating, so putting too much pressure on, if I lean on it too much, it hurts. Now I have to get it looked at before the race, just because if I go into a race and I'm in pain and I can't hold aero position for too long, that's gonna suck as far as my race goes. I could grit it out, but it's not going to be comfortable. I know sleeping sucks like that. So within the next couple weeks, I'll probably be setting an appointment with the doctor, just to kind of get looked at. I'm pretty sure it's nothing structural. I've had issues with the shoulder before, and it was tendonitis. So he gave me a bigger anti-inflammatory than I could get at the store. Because I've been pumping Aleve like it's no big deal. I've been using like Icy Hot or stuff like that just to kind of numb the pain a little bit, and it really hasn't been helping. It hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten any better. So my right shoulder is kind of feeling mostly better, but my left shoulder is still kind of there, and it doesn't really hurt me to the point where I can't do the work. But it is something I don't want going forward, because trying to put the pressure on my elbows, it hurts, and if I can't hold aero for too long, that's really gonna affect me in the race. So that's the goal. That's what I've been dealing with. Just a little shoulder injury, just keeping everything 100 with you guys. But I'm gonna end this episode right here, and I promise you in the next couple weeks I will get my coaches on camera to talk about how we've been training so far. We have a race coming up soon, and they will be there at the race. So there's a few members of the team racing that one. I just happen to be one of them. So I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for following along. Hit the like if you got something out of it. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you know when I post. Again, I try to post every Wednesday at 8 a.m., but sometimes I might be late. And if I'm late, you want to know when it goes live. So see you guys next week, because we got some fun stuff happening now that the year started. All the races are starting to happen coming forward. So stick around. We're almost at the end of season 1. We're almost halfway through the season. So see you later.